Well, hello, hello, happy Thursday. Welcome to Elegant Sentiments today. I'm Cheryl Abernathy. I'm the owner of Elegant Sentiments, and I thank you so much for joining me as we craft along today, creating a little kindness. Today, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you the products that we're going to be using. Let me go ahead. Here we go. Okay, so today's project we're using for colors, Blackberry Bliss and Bubble Bath are my two colors. And then Blooming Pearls are the embellishments that we're going to be using. These are all Stampin' Up products. The Basics 3D folder. There are three that come in this set, and this is the one that has the little floral-like pattern on it. And then we're going to be using the Countryside Corners dies. So we'll use the third and the fourth die here for the project. And we'll be using from Thoughtful Expressions. These two floral stamps are part of today's project. And as you can see from the blends here, there's a little more color that we're using. Purple, Bubble Bath light and dark blends we're using, and Mint Macron light and dark blends. And we're using the light Blackberry Bliss. So those are the colors and the products that we're using. Let me get this out of the way and show you the project. So this is the project. It is, I guess you call it an accordion fold. I got this design from a class that I took a couple weeks ago, and I decided that I liked the design, so we would use it. So this is the card, and of course we have a coordinated envelope that goes with it. So I've embossed the envelope flap and stamped that ahead of time. So let's take some time and I'll show you how I actually made it. These are, you'll need the envelope, and we're working with Very Vanilla today instead of Basic Black. So that's the envelope. We have a regular A2 sized card that is thick, Very Vanilla. And then we have, for the frame, this piece is 4.5 by 4 5/8. And then we'll need two pieces of Very Vanilla 4 by 5 1/4. One piece of Blackberry Bliss cardstock, and this is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then this last piece is just a scrap that we'll use to do our stamping. So let's see, how are we going to get started? First, I want to show you how I actually made the frame. So this is the 4 4.5 by 4 5/8 piece of Very Vanilla cardstock. And what I did, I don't know if you can see the score lines. Let me see if I can get that where you can see it. There it is. Okay, so what I did was I started at the edge. I put this on the, let me show you, on my, move this out of the way. And so I just put this on the 4 5/8, the longest side going this way. And is that the longest side? I better check, because that's the one thing that is kind of tricky about this, because it's almost a square, but it's not. So you want this is actually the shortest side, and you're going to score on the longer side. This is the 4.5-inch side. It goes up here, and then you put it there, and then you score it. Oops, I just cut. I knew I was going to do that. you score at a quarter, and you move it up another quarter, and you score again, and move it up one more quarter, and score one more time, and then you turn around and do the very same thing again. At a quarter, move it up another quarter inch, score it again, and move it up one more time, and score it. So when you're done, if you don't cut it like I do, you'll have, like I just did, you'll have a piece like this. And so we're going to bend this back down once, then up towards you, and then back down again. And then we'll do that on this here, same side here, down once, up towards you, and then back down on that third fold. So when you get done, you'll have a piece that's kind of accordion shape like that. So then you're going to smooth that back out and take this piece and run it through your embossing folder, because we want this embossed as well. Make sure you turn it so that the whole thing goes through like that. And then you run that through your embossing folder. And when you're done, you'll have a piece that looks like this. And what I did, well, one of the things that I did do before I did that, let me show you that, is I took, with one of the 4 by 5 1/4 pieces, let me see, how did I do that? No, I actually cut it out of here. So you take this piece before, you can do it before or after you emboss it, it doesn't matter. And you're going to take the, when you count 1, 2, 3 from these dies, you'll take this die and place it on your piece. You can do it before you emboss it or after you emboss it, and just center it on there like that, and then cut that out. And then the piece that comes out of there, you're going to save that, because that's going to create the inside for our card. Okay, so that's how we do that. So when we made that die cut and we've run it through the embossing machine, we have a piece that looks like this. So we've got this fold, and you want to run it across. So when you run that through the embossing folder, you're going to need to refold, and that's why it helps to fold those score lines and then smooth it back out before you actually emboss it. And then with the other 4 5 1/4 piece, we're going to emboss that with the embossing folder, and then adhere that to our basic or Blackberry Bliss card panel. And again, that Blackberry Bliss is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So we'll just go ahead and put this down. Okay, and then once we get that on there, I get it. A little bit over, just a little bit. I love the little teeny borders, but they are not always the easiest to put down. So you do that, and then we'll take our card base and go ahead and adhere this panel to the front. So we're going to put that on, and this one opens this way. So we'll do it like that. So we'll just go ahead, and it opens landscape or horizontally, whichever you prefer, but it's not portrait. And we'll put this on our card front. Okay, and then we'll burnish that with our bone folder. And then the next thing we want to do is go ahead and add this frame. So you want to take that first piece that you folded back and put your glue right along there. And I kind of like to look and see before I put it down kind of where that's going to be. And then you go ahead and add a little glue to that end, those end pieces. If I can get my glue open up here. Wait, hang on. Okay, let's try it again. And we just get a nice little bead of glue on both of those ends that are folded down. Okay, and then it helps if you kind of grab that end and hold it in, and then grab the other piece and push it in. And then when you think it's about where it needs to be, this is off just a wee bit. I want to move it over just a teeny bit. Yeah. Put that down. And then we'll put that down and then just burnish that. And then you can use blocks if you want to give that a little more, hold that down a little bit while we finish up the rest. And we'll just set that aside for now. Then we need to work on these. And what I did was I stamped, you'll need 2 of the big flowers and 3 of the small flowers. And I stamped those in Blackberry Bliss. And then I heat embossed them. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, I don't know if you can see it or not, but yeah, there you can see it a little bit. Those are heat embossed with clear embossing, and it makes it easy to color. So I'm not going to color everything, but I will show you. I just started with the light bubble bath, and I'll do this little one. And then I just went around and colored in that flower with the light. And it's really easy to do. And I leave that center untouched, uncolored. Then I take the dark bubble bath and kind of go over these dark areas on the flower. And blend those in a bit. Then I take the dark, the light Blackberry Bliss, and I apologize because my Blackberry Bliss is, I need to get a new one. This one is seeing its better days. It's actually coming apart on me. But with this tip, I just go through and add some dark highlights in the center, just right at that base. And then I kind of go and grab some of these dark little accent marks that are higher up on the petals, just a few of them. And then I go back over with the light bubble bath and blend that all in nicely. Okay, and then I just take for this flower, I use the light mint macron, and I just colored it in. And it's nice because it's embossed. You don't really have to worry about going over the lines, you don't have to be quite as careful. So that's one of the reasons why I like coloring embossed images. And I don't, these leaves are so small, I don't worry about any shading on those. I just put the green on them. So that's how I colored all of the flowers. And then I die cut them using the coordinating dies. And I've got those already done here. So there we have the two and then the two pieces. So what I did next was to figure out how I wanted these to lay. And you can, you can take your time and figure out what you like. But I kind of wanted these colors, and then I want corners covered a bit, and then I wanted one piece to go up, and I, just kind of play around with what looks good. And this is kind of what I decided looked best to me. And you could leave it with three. That looks kind of nice actually. But I did go ahead and put another one in the center. But you know what? I think for this one, I think I'm just going to leave those three and see how I like it. I can always add if I want more later. And that's the nice thing about what you're doing. So that's kind of what I think I want to do. So once you know where you want to put them, just get your glue out. And you don't want to glue everything, obviously, because you only want glue where your image, your die cut image, is going to meet the frame. So it's kind of where these leaves are. And just put those down like that. You want to make sure you check those edges so that your die cut doesn't extend beyond the width of the card. And then put some more glue on this one, kind of in the center, because it's going to be on that small part of that frame. So, okay. So we'll let that cure a bit while we work on the sentiment panel. So this is, when you cut this out, this is the piece that you end up with. And what I did to get this piece, which we're actually going to fit down in here, like so, is I used that third die in the countryside, the fourth one actually in the countryside corner. So we'll put this one back in. And so 1, 2, 3, 4. So I took this fourth one, and that's what I used to cut out the sentiment. So I cut that out, and then that created this piece. And so for this piece, we are going to do a little teeny bit of ink blending to give us that color on the side that we have in our original. And I use the bubble bath for that. So we just ink blend just a little bit of that corner. And just bring it in. And I start out really light, because you can always add more, but you can't take it off once you get it on there. So, and I wanted to go about 3/4 of the way in on this little panel. Not completely, but just a little bit. We'll add a little bit more in there. So it's going to look something like that when you're done. And you can add more or less as suits you. And then we'll take our Blackberry Bliss ink and stamp our sentiment. I used This is an older stamp set from Stampin' Up, celebrating you, and I put the Happy Mother's Day. When I saw this card, I just thought it just reminded me of Mother's Day, so that's why I chose that sentiment. But obviously, any sentiment you want to use will work. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to practice this to make sure I get it straight, because I don't want to crook it on my on my card. Okay, I think I got it. All right, and then, well, let me ink that up real good. Okay, so there we have our little sentiment panel. And let me move this out of the way. And we'll add some glue to the back of this. And then we'll put that down in there. And you can use your bone folder to get that straight the way you want it, because I want to be able to see my, let me use this because I want to be able to see my, if you have tweezers, that helps too. But the first time I did this, I put my, I put the sentiment in and then put the flowers down. So that might be a better approach, thinking after the fact now. But we'll get there. Give me a second here. Get this where it needs to go. Okay, that's good. All right. And then once you have it straight, which I don't, there, once it's straight, then you just use your bone folder to smooth that down. And then you can embellish using the blooming pearls. And so I used a couple of big ones and a couple of small ones. And I can cover up that ink smudge with this one. Had ink on my fingernail and didn't realize it. So embellishments are great for hiding those little mistakes. There you go. Put one there and put one over here. And I'll put one, another big one down here in the corner. And up here, I think. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay. And then once you have them where you want them, just give them a little push. Okay. So there is today's project. We've got the envelopes that coordinate with it. And we've got one with 2 and one with 3 flowers. Oh, we didn't talk about the inside. What I did, I guess we do need to finish this up. The inside, I took that last flower and the 4 by 5 1/4, that last piece that we had of the Very Vanilla cardstock, and we will put some glue right here on the back of that and put it in the corner so that it'll coordinate when our recipient, well, we can actually use tape runner for this. So you got a nice little coordinating flower in there when your recipient opens it up and reads their little handwritten Happy Mother's Day note. Oh, I've got ink all over my hands. Okay. Well, we'll use our good old eraser, ink eraser, to get rid of that. These Tombow ink erasers are the best thing, or mono, not Tombow. Tombow's the glue. And so there we go. So there are the two projects for today. I hope that you enjoyed this project. And if you like it, please be sure to give me a thumbs up and let me know what you think about it. And I look forward to seeing your feedback and seeing your comments. And I hope to see you again next Thursday when I'll be back with another card to share. And in the meantime, be sure to live graciously. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.